As many of you know, because people are good to me, I get to go scuba diving almost every summer in the middle of July. And I have some friends, they're actually from Minnesota, who have a little condo down in Cayman Island, and my priest buddies and I go down there to scuba dive. They give us the condo actually for free, they said, because it's hurricane season. And I actually think they think we're good luck. And actually, I think we have kind of been good luck, except for one time. But it's really a delightful, delightful experience. It's about this temperature down there all the time in the summer, but it's so, so wonderful. And I'm truly grateful that people are so kind. One afternoon, one of my favorite things to do there is to walk the beach. And as I was walking the beach, you know how you overhear things. And there was this little boy, maybe he was about 6 years old, just playing in the sand on the beach by himself. And his older siblings were all out in the ocean, within sight for sure, but they were all out in the oceans, and they were having a great old time out in the ocean. And try as they might, they could not get him off of that beach to join them in the water. This went on for several minutes. And for some reason, this little guy did not want to get out off the sand and into the ocean. One of them finally shouted to this little guy, "Tommy, guess what I found?" You guessed it. Pokemon. Right here, Pokemon. You never saw a little 6-year-old boy move so fast. I mean, these guys move fast. This was amazing. He ran into the ocean, dived in, and stayed in the water probably for hours after that. It was really cute, really, really cute to see. And they found the word. They found the word that got him to join them in the sea. Most all of us, I know, have been to the ocean at some point in our lives, I suspect. And as I sat there on the beach, watching that sea that stretched out everywhere around me, you know, it's just given to pondering. It's just a time sort of given to thinking about things, just as we look out at that ocean. And I got to thinking about how there's just this one ocean really on this incredible planet, just one ocean, one vast sea. There's really only one ocean, but that one ocean has many names for itself, but it's just one ocean. Over here we call it the Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Sea, the Southern Ocean, the Mediterranean Sea, the Caribbean Sea, the South China Sea, the Bering Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, Japan Sea, the North Sea, the Red Sea, the Baltic Sea. I mean, it's just one ocean, but every part of this one ocean is known by a different name. Many different names. One ocean, many names. In all those places, that one ocean is experienced so differently than in other places of that one ocean. The calm of the Caribbean Sea, which is really literally down there like a bathtub. It's 82, 84 degrees every day. And it's calm. Your bathtub has bigger waves than this ocean does. I mean, it is bathtub water, warm, serene, beautiful. And then having just had the privilege of traveling in Iceland also, and then being up on the North Atlantic and seeing the furious, frigid intensity of that water of the Northern Atlantic right there on the edges of Iceland. And then the roiling waters, for example, several years back when I had the opportunity to go down to South Africa in the Indian Sea, where the Indian and the Atlantic come together, and I threw up 3 times. 3 times. Everybody, every place on this ocean, every access point into this one ocean has its own experience of the sea. And I know so many people, for example, in the Caymans, who've never left the island. The natives, so many natives who only know the ocean as a bathtub. And so many people up in Iceland, for example, who only know the ocean as these frigid, roiling, intense waters up there, and they think the whole ocean is like that. because that's all they've ever known of this one vast ocean. We've all been like that little guy too, I suspect, or some of us have been at least, when sometimes we choose not to get out there into it. I remember the first time I ever saw the ocean at night was down in Cayman about 35 years ago, and my buddies and I, we got off the plane, we put our suitcases in this little condo, and I mean literally, we ran to the sea, ran to the beach to see it at night, and then once we were there, we just wanted to get away, because it was so like dark red wine, black, like what's out there, you know, what's in there, what's waiting to come out with these big tentacles of some sort. But also, after we get used to it, we keep going back down there. And what was it that keeps us sometimes from jumping in? Why sometimes do we not take the plunge, even when so many people we love are out there splashing around and having a great time? For that little guy, I think it was because he was just being stubborn. But I also think he was kind of lost in the sand. He was having a great time right there in the sand. Maybe he was scared. There's a lot out there, you know, down there. My first funeral, actually, as a young priest, my very first funeral was for my first cousin, who was an incredible athlete who drowned in a lake at the age of 19. First funeral, and I can honestly say I've never gotten back and swam in a lake again the rest of my life. For some of us, it might just be laziness. You know, it's just a lot of work sometimes to get out there and get all dirty, and then we have to shower and get all that salt off our bodies. Sometimes for some of us, it's been there, done that. I know what it's like. It wasn't for me. It's not worth it. Maybe having too much fun on the shore, again, like that little guy might have been, just preoccupied with the sand. But some of us, many of us, most of us probably, we can't resist the urge to plunge in, to play in it, to wash in it, to float weightless against gravity in it. And some of my favorite conversations are hanging out in the water, just having a conversation in the midst of the ocean. I don't know what it is, but there's something about talking out there that's different than talking up here, at least for me. Allow me this morning, if you would, allow me to let that ocean out there become a metaphor for the mystery we call God. As you know, metaphors are all we have for God. There's no definitions of this mystery. It's too vast for words. And everything we say about the mystery of God is more wrong than it is right. And even a metaphor can't say it all, and part of it doesn't ever fit something this vast. But yet all we have are metaphors for understanding, entering into this mystery, you know, as inadequate as they are. Like that ocean out there, that becomes, that ocean, a metaphor for the mystery of God. A mystery that has many names. People of many faiths use many names to speak of the same mystery, to open themselves to the same mystery, and that for them is their access point to that sea, their portal into the mystery. And none are more wrong or more right than any other. It's a mystery by many names. I had a dinner the other night with one of our undergrads who's a Hindu, and he was telling me about one of his favorite goddesses. And I could so identify so much of my experience of God in our Catholic Christian tradition with this goddess, whose name I could never pronounce, but she's really like frank. I mean, really like forthright. I mean, she really tells it like it is. And I thought, gosh, that's so my experience of God too. I think the name was something like Haleopoli or something like that, but a different name, but the same experience, you know. But even that's a different experience of God than many perhaps here, even this morning, carry with them. So it's just like the oceans of the earth, you know. Many names, but one ocean. Many names for God, but one God. And like the ocean, like I said, so many access points, so many portals to the mystery. All the religions of the world have that. But there's also not just the religions, also atheism has its own access point to the mystery. So does agnosticism. So does suffering. Suffering is an experience that gives us access to the mystery. So does beauty. So does nature, so does every friendship. So does gratitude. An experience of gratitude takes us to the waters. Each portal so different, the sea, God so different for us in that moment. In my understanding of this gospel, I see Jesus out in the water, and he's seeing us playing in the sand, and he wants us to know there's more to life than just the sand. As much fun as we might be having there, as preoccupied we might be building our little castles, he knows they're going to wash away. We don't, maybe. And so he's saying, come in. Know this too. We're being coaxed by Jesus lured by Jesus into the waters. Jesus is out there shouting to us across the waves, to each of us by name, to come and join him. Come and join him, he says. When he's teaching us to pray in this gospel, he's saying, come and join me out here. Know what I know, experience what I experience. Come swim in this. Feel it, know it. I want you to know it. So we swim with him. We dive deep into the waters with him, maybe. And when we hesitate, when we stay back here, even with his luring, his calling to us, he's saying, the water's fine. You can trust it. The mystery of God is trustworthy. It's worth your life to come out here into the sea. It'll be for you like an awesome dad to hold you in its arms. This mystery is trustworthy. Our Father, he said, our Father, you can call it Father, you can call it Abba, you can call it Daddy, because that's what it's like for you. So trust it. It's a holy benevolence, a grounding, an electrifying, a creating, a nurturing force in this universe that's worth us diving into. And the church is just a gang of folks out there alongside of him trying to do good and enticing us by the good works that we do, hopefully enticing us to come out there with them and join them in the conversation that's happening in this sea of faith out there. The church is just saying, come join us out here into the fun, into the dive, and uncover with us the unknown but knowable delights of the mystery of God. The unknown but knowable delights of this mystery, this nurturing force that is what we call God. But so many in this world, so many across the street are perhaps satisfied just playing in the sand, building those castles in the sand. I saw some amazing sand castles, by the way, while I was down there. Maybe they swam once in the ocean, but it was way too much like work. And the sins of the institution, the sins of those people splashing in the water got in their way and didn't help them trust those waters. Maybe somehow they're scared by it all. It can just consume us. It can be scary out there. Faith can overwhelm us. It can throw us upside down and right side up and take us out to sea. When I first dared to put my first steps into the waters of faith, into this sea that is God, the mystery, I had no idea I would end up a priest. I mean, it just swept me away. I didn't know this was going to be where it ended up. And I understand you being scared. I wouldn't want to do this either if I was you. Many of us worry about the faith of the next generation. I hear so many parents and grandparents talking about the faith of their kids and grandkids, and they don't go to church. It doesn't seem like none of this matters to you, Father. It matters so much to me. I don't know what I did wrong. I don't know what to do. And the most I can say to you in that is we're in it with you. The reason the whole Catholic Student Center is here is for that reason. We have a mighty task in front of us. The CSC has a mighty task in front of us. Our work, our challenge, is to find the right word that will make them come running and diving into these waters, to find the right word that will rouse them or at least help them realize that maybe there's something missing in their lives without this sea. That the sand is fine. You can get preoccupied with so many things in this world that are so good and fun, but there might be more to life than this, and someday some of that might wash away. Ask anybody here who's retired what it's like, for example, to have retired from their careers that they gave their whole life to, and then now it's not there. The waters have just washed that castle away. And so we want to rouse them, or at least help the students, your grandchildren, your children, to realize that maybe there was something missing all the time that was there that while they were preoccupied in the sand, that there was a whole ocean of love, infinite love, divine love waiting for them out there. For the last probably some 40% of Washington University students, they've left the world of God if they ever entered it. And perhaps they never really ever thought they wanted it. The fancy word for our work, yours and mine, is evangelization. It's our job to figure out the word that will wake them up to that stirring, that desire in them for more, for something more. I don't think the right word is Pokemon for 25-year-olds. Maybe it is. I might be very wrong about that. But if we could just find the word, if we could just create the kind of community that would stir something up in them, or maybe even wake them up to the stirring that was there all the time that they didn't even know was there. I believe with all my heart that the sea is what we were born out of. Humanity crawled from that sea onto the shores. And I believe I and you crawled out of the mystery of God into existence. And I believe that vast sea that is the mystery of God is what we were meant to rejoin now and at the hour of our death. And so I want to dedicate my life to helping find the right word, because I believe there's so much out here that's worth their life, that's worth them immersing themselves in for the rest of their lives. I'll never forget the words of Walt Whitman, the poet, when he said, "Bathe me, O God, in thee. Bathe me, O God, in thee. Let my soul set sail farther and farther and farther we sail." There's a very short, small song written by a man named Paul Winter that I go back to again and again, and so many times I've sung it as I sat alongside the sea or floated in it. And I sing it now not because I know how to sing, you know that, but just because it means so much to me. Oh, mystery, you are alive. I feel you all around. You are the fire in my heart. You are the holy sound. And in all of life, it is to you that I sing. Grant that I may feel you always in everything. Oh, grant that I may feel you always in everything. O mystery.